Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video. Today we are back on the remastered Great Western Express route at Hayes and Hollington. In what looks like a Heathrow Connect Class 360, but it isn't. It's a Class 350 from West Coast Mainline South, but put in a Heathrow Connect livery, and it has had an extra coach added like it is a Heathrow Connect 360, but it isn't. It's a 350. I also have a branding patch enabled that adds authentic Heathrow Connect branding. Doing a run from Hayes and Hollington to Paddington should take about 20 minutes, so let's get onto it. Come on. Wrong doors. Oops. I just activated the wrong doors by mistake. No, those doors. Shut those doors, which I accidentally opened onto the tracks. Instrument lights, please. Headlights, please. Test the horn. GSMR is on. Let's get the safeties going, which is over here. There we go. Safety's on. Yeah, Oh, really? There we go. We might be slightly late thanks to my door shenanigans. Hopefully not too late. Yeah, at Hayes, at this time period, GWR was actually operating a Heathrow, Hayes and Hollington to Paddington service using the GWR Class 387, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to be represented. Maximum oomph. Let's go. Next stop, Southall. We do have announcements. Hopefully they'll activate. Alright. No. Or does this say, does the 350 not have announcements? I don't know. I don't think this thing has announcements. It might do. I don't know. So our stops today are Hayes and Hollington, Southall, Hanwell, West Ealing, Broadway, and London Paddington. And that's the service pattern for basically all of these services. Apart from the Old Oak Common Depot moves, of course. Nice. We also, yeah, this is a decent run to do if you want to do something that's not too long. There's the water tower on the left-hand side there coming up. Whoa! Do you see the suspension absolutely having a moment down there? What on earth is going on with the suspension, man? It looks like it's having a seizure. So, looks like some HOAs and JNAs on the right there, from Cargo Line Volume 2 and Southeastern High Speed, respectively. Coming up on Southall Station. Yeah. One kind of service this also has, you can also do guard mode with the Heathrow Connect stuff. This is the only train layer which does have guard mode capability on this line. The other trains that do have guard mode capability on this timetable are the what are they? The Class 165 and 166 Turbo Networkers and the Class 43 HST. Yeah. Heathrow Connect nowadays doesn't exist anymore. The services that used to be run by the Heathrow Connect stuff are now run by the Class 345 Aventras from what are they? The Elizabeth line. Excuse me. Southall Depot on the right there, my favorite place, one of my favorite places to go in a train sim. since it's got a new place put in. Yeah, and now there's also Heathrow the Heathrow stuff is also done by the Heathrow Express trains using Class 387s. Next stop, Hanwell. I don't think we do have announcements. All we have is garden mode. I do apologise. Yeah, also, I don't know what the PIS screen is doing, man. That looks very odd. Nice. I do love Southall Depot. Very nice place. Since the remaster. I'm also using the Live Weather app by Winzalton, and all other mods I have are linked down in the collection, linked in the description. Oh my goodness, the suspension on this thing. There's some FKA containers on the left there. Even though this isn't the Class 360, having appropriate Heathrow Connect branding is very nice. There's an HST. Here's the viaduct. Not entirely sure what this is called. Coming up on Hanwell, which is one of my favourite stations on the very old style vibe. Like classical GWR, Great Western Mainline vibes to this station. It feels a bit like a bit of the West Somerset Railway leaked out. As a turbo networker. Noise 3 car. Early into Hanwell. Let's just make sure we can get a good stop. There we go. I do like the platform announcements. Look at these old style lights, the platform, the buildings. Hang on, there's one of my favorite. Look at this side. Passengers are requested to cross the line by the subway. Very cool. Inside, not much has changed. Basically, still the LNWR interior, and yep, even the LNWR destination boards. I mean, the interior signs. But that might be due to me having a LNWR Class 350 branding patch enabled. So we'll see. I don't know if that's the mod or if it's me. Maximum speed. Next stop, West Ealing in 0.8 miles, where you'll be able to the lovely passengers will be able to change for the Greenford branch. There's the little depot thing there. What do they call it in game? West Ealing sidings. There's also a little something there, which I'm not going to tell you about because it's like a little secret. You're supposed to find it yourself, like back there, sort of area. And then also there's holes in the fence so you can access this bridge for train spotting, and there's also AI horns that you can hear under that bridge as well, which is very cool. Here comes in the Greenford branch from the left. No Class 230 to be seen because that hasn't even been heard of in this time period, of course. I believe the D-stocks were still in service in this time period, and they hadn't been 230-001 hadn't been rebuilt yet. Of course, I don't think it was even envisaged that they could be using those. Alright, so early into West Ealing, which is very nice. West Ealing is one probably one of the blander stations on the route, if I'm being honest. Does have a nice overbridge though. Doesn't seem to have too many issues with NPCs glitching through it like the one at Ealing Broadway does. Oh, I forgot I have to put the brake to... Yeah, 88%, otherwise it won't go into neutral, which is very interesting that the 350 operates like that. Alright, so we've got Ealing Broadway and Paddington left. Yeah, I don't know why the PIS is behaving like that. It's like, it's done padding is what it's displaying, which is very funny.
Please also note that in the interests of safety, cycling...
Let's go exterior view for this.
Anywhere on the station.
Let's depart slightly early so you can see this takeoff. Here comes an HST. Very nice. That is one nice thing about... Oh, there's another Heathrow Connect service. I'm going to just pause. Oh, let's advance game time slightly. Bonk. There we go. Let's get like that and decently framed. Add some motion blur. Come on, 50%. 50%. Oh. Let's get some depth of field going. Let's get that framed up nicely and take that. Alright, next stop, Ealing Broadway, where you can change for the district and central lines. One interesting thing to note about this timetable is the Greenford shuttle still operated as far as Paddington. Since then, West Ealing has had a bay platform added, and the Greenford shuttle just does the short distance between Greenford and West Ealing, which just takes like 10 minutes in each direction. And that's that's the stretch of line which GWR have been testing the class. What? My game just zoomed in without me asking it to. That's very interesting. Okay, AWS just went off despite being a clear signal. Hello. HST in the first Great Western Dynamic Lines livery. I also, yeah, the branding patch I have enabled also has not only the Dynamic Lines livery for the Turbo Networkers, but also has the plain blue version as well, which is the slightly newer one, which is very nice. I love modding this game. Not too much, because then that tanks my frame rate, but just enough in order to add, like, branding to everything. Appropriate branding, I should say. Alright. Welcome to Ealing Broadway. Unfortunately, no S stock in sight, so the District and Central Line trains are represented by the 1972 stock from West Coast Main Line South and the D stock from Island Line, which is a jazzed up version of the Class 484 from Island Line 2022. Yeah. I don't get why this is here, because it's obviously like Bakerloo Line branded and it's got the Bakerloo Line signs, but I think it's just better than nothing that it's here, unfortunately. Now, adding the S stock would be nice, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Oh, hello. NPCs glitching through the bridge. This bridge is very good for glitches. Next stop, Paddington, in 9 minutes. Which is our final stop, of course. But, yeah, if this was an Elizabeth Line service today, it would probably be continuing on to Abbey Wood or Shenfield. But, yeah, the Elizabeth Line was still very much under heavy construction and when at the time this route was surveyed and at the time this route is set, so I'm not going to complain. Did I forget to set the GSMR? No, I'm going to cancel that because I already said it. Okay. Oh, hello. There's a D-stop going over the bridge there. Very nice. I think we can finally get up to line speed in this thing. Forgot to put the window down earlier. I do apologize. Actually put this window down so we can hear stuff driving around. It's like if we get overtaken by an HST, we'll know. Coming up on Acton Yard here. Looks like we've got some HKAs, HOAs, and a shed. Some variety. Looks like a DB shed of some variety. DB Schenker and EWS. Okay, dokie. AC limit. Okay. Acton mainline station. I love the rail singing sounds, man. Just makes everything a lot nicer, I must say. There goes the freight line. There's a 3-car double networker. Oh, we heard that a lot better with the window open. That was a good idea on my part. There's the North London line, as it was still known. Can't see any MileMate AI because I don't have MileMate. That's the only one of the layers I don't have. Old Oak Common on the left, North Pole on the right. There's a 350 there, waiting patiently. Yeah, this thing doesn't have very good visibility, so I'll try to use external cam. There's an 08 there. The sleeper and some HSTs in Old Oak Common Depot. Well, the pre-demolish. I believe they've demolished it now. There is a new Old Oak Common Depot, and they're also constructing the terminus for High Speed 2. Yeah. I've also, for some reason, you can see Southern Class 377-2s heading over that bridge we just went under. From, yeah, West Coast Main Line South. I'm not entirely sure where those layer on. Don't know what service that is, but if you do know, please do let me know, because I don't know what those are. We have to go via Signal Sierra November 80. Right, there's an HST. Noise. There's a Dynamic Lines 3-car on the left. I'm saying 3-car because I do not know if that is a 165 or 166. Hard to tell. That's a 165 because that's a 2-car. The 350 does a lot of bouncing around. And this middle bogey is still having an absolute moment. What in the world? I don't get why. Sometimes the dynamic suspension in this game just absolutely just behaves weirdly. Like, this 350 just bounces too much. And I've never been on the 350. I've been on the Pendolino. Never been on the 350, and I still think this looks far too bouncy. Here's Westbourne Park coming up on the right-hand side, so we'll start seeing London Underground services again. On the Circle and Hammersmith and City lines. Do have a 40 limit coming up, so I'll start braking us slowly for the 40 limit. Get both windows open, why not? Oh, wrong button. Slow down just a tad more. There's a... Is that 165 or 166? I can't tell. Alright. Paddington Platform 12 in 1 mile. 25 warning board. Don't need to worry about that until we're at the platform area. There's the London Underground line. The service doesn't take too long to complete. I do hope we get a Heathrow extension and Thames Valley line and the Thames Valley lines at some point. That'd be very nice to have. There is Royal Oak station. Slowing down gradually for that 25 limit. These services are, the Heathrow Connect services are pretty regular, running pretty much every half hour during the day in each direction. So, and they cross over at West Ealing, or I think, yeah, like West Ealing sort of area. Alright. Platform 12. Let's try not to have the TPWS go off on us, so I think we have to be under 15 miles an hour? Yeah, there we go. Since TPWS does work in the 350, sort of like it does in real life. Put the windows up since we'll just have diesel sounds all the time. Oh, whoops. Okay, at least it didn't open, it was locked. Didn't know. That was a reward. Right, here we go, coming into one of the side platforms. Very early, I might add. We're very efficient. Alright. Coming into platform 12. There's the Greenford shuttle on the right there. Easy does it. Don't want to overdo it, because that's some buffers right there. Paddington has to be my favourite station in the game. So detailed now. Oh! TPWS went off. Okay. Hoping to get a slightly more accurate stop than that, but it is what it is. Alright, let's get tail lights on for the next driver. Tail lights, please. Wait, what? Oh, they must come on automatically, never mind. Welcome to Heathrow. Paddington. I saw Heathrow on that sign there, and I was like, oh, and then my brain thought, ooh, Paddington, Heathrow. Shut the doors. Alright. Ooh, platinum medal. Lost some points for speeding, but it's not bad. And yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications if you are subscribed. Become a channel member if you can afford it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.